The Pittsburgh Steelers made some additions and subtractions to their roster recently. And here at Big Deke News, we'll break it down. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about today's news. Steelers are releasing cornerback Ahkello Witherspoon, saving them $4 million in cap space. This move was surprising, yet at the same time, not surprising at all. The reason it's surprising to me is that Ahkello was able to stay on the Steelers roster all the way up to the middle of May. We thought he was going to be a cap casualty as soon as the offseason started because the Steelers would have been able to save $4 million. And based off Ahkello's play last year, it would have made a lot of financial sense for the Steelers to go in that direction. But with him staying on the roster through March, April, and then all the way up to May, I thought Steelers were going to give him a chance to keep his roster spot, but obviously that's not the case. But the reason it's not surprising is, again, based off what Ahkello gave us last year and us being able to save $4 million. Yeah, no brainer. But then at the same time, with us bringing in a Patrick Peterson, us already having Levi Wallace, drafting Joey Porter Jr., drafting Corey Trice, even bringing in a Shannon Sullivan, bringing back a James Pierre, the CB room was a little bit busy, and I didn't know if Ahkello, being where he's at in his career, you know what I mean? He's like 28, 29 years old. I didn't know if there was really going to be a spot for him anyway, outside of us saving the cap space. But ultimately, I don't think it would have been a bad idea to keep Ahkello because I think he still has upside. Going back to what he did in 2021, he was our top corner in the last 5 or 6 games of the season. He was a difference maker. 3 interceptions, probably could have had 4 or 5 actually, dropped 1 or 2, but then was not able to keep it up last year. I don't know if it was solely due to injuries or what, but yeah, he just was not the same, and ultimately we ended up releasing him, and I don't think that's a bad move either. It's just more I guess, pick your poison. Which direction did you want to go? Did you want to keep Ahkello around, have another guy in there to compete with the cornerback room, but then it's going to cost you $4 million? Or do you just want to release him and save the $4 million and maybe be able to spend that money and pick up someone else? Because that's what I'm wondering right now. Is that money potentially going to be allocated to another signing, a.k.a. Quan Alexander? We'll have to wait and see. But now let's go over some of the additions the Steelers have made recently. One cornerback out, another cornerback in. Steelers signed Luke Barku, who was most recently in the XFL playing for the San Antonio Brahmas. He was invited to rookie minicamp, and the Steelers ended up signing him onto the roster for the rest of this offseason. So the skinny on him, he led the NCAA in interceptions in his last year in college with 9. Actually had 3 picks in 3 consecutive opposing offensive plays in a game. Kind of impressive. Signed with the Jaguars as an undrafted rookie in 2020. Bounced around the league between 5 different teams since then. And then finally found some success this last year in the XFL. 31 tackles, 1 sack, a pick, and 3 tackles for loss, which got him named to the All-XFL team. He's predominantly an outside corner, so he'll be competing with James Pierre, Corey Trice Jr., and another guy we recently brought in Mondre Harper. Another guy the Steelers picked up after their rookie minicamp was running back out of Morgan State, Alfonso Graham. So with him, he was pretty efficient with his running. On 249 carries, went for 652 yards and 13 touchdowns at Morgan State for his career. Also had 31 receptions, 233 yards, a touchdown, and showed some return man abilities. Returned 18 kicks for 402 yards. Has an interesting story, actually a little similar to Jalen Warren. Went to AZ Western to start off his college career, then transferred to Independence Community College, then Fullerton Community College, then walked on at Morgan State and ended up having the career that he had, but now gets a rookie minicamp tryout for the Steelers, has 3 days to showcase his skills. Steelers come away impressed, and he leaves with a contract. And I'm guessing he'll get a chance to compete for 2 spots. 3rd running back spot against Anthony McFarland, Master Teague, but also probably some return man reps. We brought in Jordan Byrd from San Diego State. He'll probably be going for that 3rd running back spot too. But also Calvin Austin will probably be in that room for a return man, probably gunner. So we'll see what he could bring to the table. Another guy we picked up is interior defensive lineman Manny Jones. He's an undrafted guy out of Colorado State. Actually got some time last year as a rookie with the Arizona Cardinals, but they just recently released him. Steelers picked him up off waivers. I feel like this move is pretty much a direct correlation with us putting our other interior defensive lineman. He was a depth guy, Renell Wren, on IR. So I think it's as simple as we put him on IR. We bring in another guy to compete with a bunch of our other depth interior defensive linemen like Armin Watts, Braden Fehoko, Isaiah Loudermilk. So that's what this move's all about. But last but not least, we officially signed Hakeem Butler. He was the XFL's best receiver. His story is really interesting. I know I made a video on it whenever we first tried him out for rookie minicamps, but I'll go over it real briefly. Steelers were interested in him back in 2019. Ended up getting drafted by the Cardinals instead because we picked up Deontay Johnson in the third. Nothing really happened his rookie year with the Cardinals. I think he had an injury, but then he bounced around the league for the next year or two. Finds himself in the XFL this last year, but wasn't really supposed to be playing in the XFL because he didn't get drafted. Had to reach out to one of the coaches through Instagram DMs for a tryout, and then he becomes the best receiver in the league last year. So definitely a cool story. Happy that the Steelers picked him up and is going to give him a shot for the rest of this offseason. So we'll be keeping tabs on that. But let me know what you guys think about some of these additions and us cutting Ahkello Witherspoon today down in the comments. But stay chilling on a Wednesday. I hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.